I don't want to scare you, but did you know that each year in the United States alone, over 40 million lawsuits are filed? Yeah, 40 million. And did you know that the median payout on product liability cases is $748,000? If you got sued and had to pay anything even close to that amount, how would that affect your life and your business? What's up, guys? My name is Crescent, and the last thing anyone wants is to get sued. But the reality of it is, it can happen easily if you're selling products. Someone can get hurt or their property damaged, and getting sued can crush you and your business if you're not properly insured. If you didn't know, Amazon updated the insurance requirements, or you may have received an email from them requiring you to provide proof of coverage, or you risk having your account suspended. So, what do you need to do as an Amazon seller? Well, you can start by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube know that you found value in the video, and it'll show it to more people just like you. And you know me, I like to count thumbs, so thank you for doing that. So with that said, if you're already selling on Amazon and have a professional seller account, that's the one where you're paying $39.99 a month, then you were already required to have liability insurance, in case you didn't know that. Amazon just wasn't actively enforcing this policy until recently. They've actually updated the policy and changed the requirements. You can see that it says here, you are required to obtain and maintain commercial liability insurance within 30 days after exceeding $10,000 in gross proceeds in sales in 1 month on Amazon.com, or if otherwise requested by us. So, does that mean if you don't have $10,000 in gross sales in 1 month that you don't need insurance? From Amazon's perspective, you don't, but it wouldn't hurt to have it because, like I said earlier, if you get sued, it can crush you and your business. Amazon also has changed their claims policy. You can see here that they will now cover any claims that are less than $1,000. For customer claims of $1,000 or less, Amazon will resolve the claim through a concession to the customer and will not request reimbursement from you or your insurer if you provide proof of insurance. So if you don't want to have to figure out all of the details and learn about how insurance works, Amazon has made getting insurance super easy. They have a list of vetted insurance providers in their new Amazon Insurance Accelerator program. Pick one from the list and they'll be able to walk you through everything that you need to do. Otherwise, if you want to go with your own insurance provider, then you're going to have to make sure your policy meets Amazon's requirements listed here. Now, I'm not going to read it all. You can read through it on your own if you want. I'll leave a link to it in the video description below, but the takeaway from it is you can't just get general liability coverage. You also need to have product liability. General liability covers what you say, whereas product liability covers any injury or property damage. You also need to be sure that your policy covers all of your products, not just the high-risk ones. Be honest when you're speaking with an agent with what products you're selling, where you're selling them, and whether you're selling them online or in brick-and-mortar stores. You don't want to lie in an attempt to save a few dollars on your policy, as it can end up biting you. And the thing is, policies aren't that expensive. If you're doing wholesale or arbitrage, coverage costs around $500 to $700 a year, whereas if you're doing private label, you can expect to pay somewhere around $1,000 a year on your premium. And a few tips before we go. First, I recommend smashing the like button and then speaking to an agent to go over exactly what you need. Don't just go and fill out some form on a website and buy a policy. You may not be getting what you need. And second, if you don't have a registered business, once you sell more than $10,000 in gross revenue in 1 month, you'll need to get insurance. And even if you do have a registered business, such as an LLC, the protection offered by an LLC alone may not cover you completely. And along the same lines, some people think that their homeowner's insurance policy will cover their products that they store at home in the case of loss or damage. It doesn't. Homeowners' policies don't cover business assets. A proper policy will cover your business assets regardless if they're stored at home, at a warehouse, storage unit, or even at a 3PL. If your inventory is stored at a 3PL, don't assume that your inventory is covered. Always ask your 3PL and get it in writing if they say it is covered while it's in their possession. And third, if you don't live in the US, but you're selling in the US marketplace, you may get denied if you try to get a policy with a US-based provider. In those cases, you can check with your local providers, but make sure they can meet the requirements stated by Amazon. Or with US providers, you'll need to get a US address, not a PO box, as well as a EIN. And in some cases, you'll need to also form an LLC. And getting an EIN is actually pretty simple, and you can generally get the EIN within a couple of hours of submitting your application. Just follow the instructions here. And to get a US address, again, not a PO box, there's several services that will give you a US mailing address for free. myus.com and viabox.com are two options. Just sign up with a free account and they'll provide you with a US mailing address that you can use to send your stuff to. And forming an LLC is beyond the scope of this video, so what I suggest is consult a professional to see what your best option is for you. And lastly, don't buy your policy strictly based on the price. You generally get what you pay for. Cheap premiums lead to cheap coverage. Again, the best thing to do is to contact one of these service providers in the Insurance Accelerator program on Amazon. And if you decide not to do that, do make sure that you read the insurance requirements stated by Amazon here. It's very important that all of these requirements are met. I'll leave a link to this page in the video description below. Okay, so what do you need to do once you've purchased your policy? If you went through the Insurance Accelerator program, you'll generally get your policy activated in less than a week. Once that happens, you can hop on over to Insurance Accelerator in Seller Central, click on Settings, Account Info, Business Insurance, click on Step 2, Upload Proof of Insurance, and fill in the information on this form. Then upload your certificate of insurance. Remember, you have 30 days to comply once you reach the $10,000 threshold, or if Amazon has sent you an email requesting you to provide proof. All right, and that's it. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all of my contact details in the video description below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or question in the comment section below. I answer every single one. And as always, if you found value in this video, consider subscribing, and do me a favor, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out, and I'd appreciate it. And make sure you're ringing that bell so you never miss a future video. All right, thanks for watching.